Hi everyone, my name is Alyssa and I just wanted to remind you that it's important to remember the effects and warning signs of substance abuse and how it could affect you or your friends.
First off, as the alcohol and drug guy, uh, people aren't using alcohol or other drugs nearly as much as you think they are. We have lots of data on that. We have perception data and real data, and believe me, people aren't using as many substances as you think they are. And what we know through the literature is that the number of drinks that you consume, especially once you've hit that binge number or more, and the negative consequences that you experience as a result of use, they go up together. They work. It's this parallel. And the more you drink, the more likely you are to experience negative consequences, both in terms of the frequency and also the range. And so when people want to know if maybe the drinking is problematic, that's what you want to look at. Is your use becoming more and more frequent? And then are you experiencing more and more negative consequences? Are you having more hangovers? Are you feeling regret about what you've done under the use of alcohol? Are you blacking out or passing out? Do you vomit? Do you need to go to the hospital because of your use? Those are the indicators that you want to be looking for. So even for someone who's tolerant, they're going to experience negative consequences. Those consequences just might be actually a little bit more severe than the folks who are less tolerant.
So the negative consequences, are they only physical?
No. And so that's actually a good question. So we oftentimes are looking at things that fall outside of the realm of just physical, right? We look at these other domains of functioning that can be impacted by use. Academic or intellectual, social, financial, legal, right? There's all these different realms where when your use starts to get out of control, there's an erosion or deterioration of your functioning in these areas. You might not do as well academically. You might not be spending as much quality time with friends. You might be isolating. You might be spending more money on the substance than you have. Or you might, be out and do something where you're picked up by the police because you engaged in something that was an unlawful behavior. And so those are other areas, right? Oftentimes, the individual consequences are, more frequent and they show up quicker. But over time, these other kind of domains of functioning not doing so well, it happens. It's going to happen.
Is substance abuse only about what's illegal?
No. Yeah, there are lots of substances that students use both on this campus and other campuses that aren't technically illegal, but there are lots of things that they can use that can cause problems. They can be things of, substances of abuse and can cause issues. And so we're looking at things that can cause, problematic or dangerous outcomes, right? It doesn't matter if it's a scheduled substance that everyone knows is dangerous, or if it's something that you can go and buy on Amazon or across the street, right? It does that's actually not a great concern for us. We're just more concerned if it can cause damage to someone, cause them to abuse it, or cause them to become dependent.
So, sort of in the same vein, but on a more recent political aspect, do you think that the legalization of marijuana will have effect on your office?
Yeah, I mean, it actually already has. I mean, I've actually seen a couple of students recently around the issue. I mean, for colleges and universities, we have limitations and requirements that were requirements that we have to meet by the federal government. And so, with regards to how we'll respond to the ability to have marijuana on campus, it's pretty clear. I mean, the Drug Free Schools and Communities Act really states that we can't have that happen because that's still considered to be a scheduled substance with the federal government. But what we have seen and what I've heard and what actually is happening in the community is that, people are using. There are more people who will use with it becoming recreationally available. And so we do expect that we'll actually have an uptick in people who do use it and maybe don't have great experiences with it, right? And so whether it's a transport because of a negative experience with use, or because use starts to get out of hand and it's causing impacts on their sort of ability to do well and function as students and as people, I expect that we'll have a few more people coming in, absolutely.
Substance abuse can affect anyone, so you should be aware of the signs and be open to visiting the CDSA office. Thanks for watching.